Alright, so now that we got the NB running good, the next thing we got to do is fix this tire. It's a gusher, and listen, air is running right out of it. So I've got another tire that is worthy of a tube. Oh, it feels like there's a tube in here. Cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this off, and maybe we can patch the tube and not have to use a brand new tube, but we'll be back. Alright, so I've changed a lot of tires with this tire changer, and this one here is tough, man. I just put the bar in there and started prying. I bent the rim twice. I've never done that before, so I don't know if this is a cheap rim or if this is a wicked tough tire, but we're gonna get it off one way or the other. Alright, so the tube that was in that thing's actually a real Goodyear tube, and we just got to find a leak. So I filled up this cooler here with water, and I'm going to submerge the tire and we'll look for air bubbles. So far, nothing. Let's move it a little bit. Let's see what we got on this section. Nothing. 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 What the heck? Oh, there it is. You see it? Just to the left of the valve stem. All bubbly. So, let's get our bike tube patch and we'll see if we can patch that little hole there. Valve stem doesn't seem to be leaking, and that's cool. So, that way we could salvage a tube here, which would be helpful. And find the exact spot that's coming out of there. Yeah, now it's not going to do it, right? You know how that works. Dude, where the heck is it? Oh, there it is. All right, I'm just going to put my thumb right over by it. So it's like right here, basically. Yep, you can see kind of the stress in that area between my fingers. So let's get the bike tube patch kit and we'll see what we can do. So I've dressed up the area here. I'm going to put some rubber cement on and put the tube patch on there, and we'll see if that solves the problem or not. Alright, so I dipped the tube back in the water and it's working again. I got another old Goodyear tire here that's off my old 432, and yeah, it's like got cracks and stuff in it, but it will work fine with this tube. Once you get these structural flaws like this tire had, like this, and it's actually cut through the cords, you're done. You can never use that again. It's just gonna puncture the tube every time. So I'm gonna let the air out of the tube here and see if we can cram it into that tire and get it back together. All right, so the trusty Walmart bike tire patch kit worked good, and I got the tire back on the machine. It's not fully seated on the bead down here, so I just lowered the tractor down and its weight will push it on. Just take a minute to seat on there. Gave it a squirt of some WD-40 just for good measure. While it was up on the jack stands, I got a clamp on the line that goes to the carb from the fuel pump, and I adjusted the choke cable because that wasn't working properly. It really just needed some lubrication, and now it should be working. I don't know if you can see down in the carb, but choke's on, choke's off. It's working. So the next step really is to work on our wiring here and work on our charging system and our off switch. And this plug over here has 3 prongs. 2 of those 3 prongs should be for the charging system, and the other one should be the kill switch. So more than likely the 2 that are in a row are for the charging system, and the other one is for the off switch. So before I go nuts on this thing, I'm actually gonna take my voltmeter and put it into the 2 prongs there and see if I can't read voltage coming out of the stator, and that will be our first step. So let's see what we got. All right, so let's see here. I got my voltmeter here already plugged in, and it's set to AC volts. So let's see if it will start up again here. So I'm going to take a little jumper wire here and run it from the third prong, which should be the ground from the ignition module, just to the frame, and ground it and see if it turns off the tractor. So let's give that one a shot now. Alright, so with a little bit of picking and prying, I was able to get all three of those connectors out of the plug. These kind of connectors really, they don't have anything that hold them in there other than like these little barbs that are on the side. So what I found the easiest way to take them out was actually take a pair of wire clippers, snip it like this so that that flexible tab came off, like you see in the one in my hand here, and then you just grab it by the back and pull it out, and it seemed to work pretty good. So let's see what we can get here for some replacement wiring. So last time I used orange and red wire, so I'm going to use some blue and some black for these things. And you can see here the old voltage regulator is just totally shot, so that thing's going in the trash. We'll put this nice new one in. So pretty much what we need is 3 runs of wire to go from the back up to the front here. So I'm going to actually use the blue wire for the charging system, and I'm going to use the black wire for the ground, and that should be it. All right, so here's my connector that I need here for that thing from electricaldepot.com, theelectricaldepot.com. So I got to put 3 of them on this end here. So let's get to it. These 4 barbs have to stay intact, so you got to make sure that you only bend the 2 little clips and not those 4 barbs. So let's get bending. All right, so I got all 3 of them bent on there. Now we're actually going to solder them as well to make sure they're super good. All right, so I'm going to try to solder these on. Just got my soldering gun out here. Start heating it up. Some solder over here. Take a while to heat these big things up. There we go. It's starting to suck in there now. I like to solder them because then you're pretty sure that you really have a good connection and it's not just in there by the crimp, which over time vibrates and loosens up and all that kind of stuff. So I personally feel a lot more secure when I solder these things together. It's worth the extra effort if you can do it. It's not really complicated either, and it'll get you a better result. All right, so that's the first one. Got 2 more to go. You get the idea. All right, so now that all 3 of these are done, we basically have to push them into the plug. So again, my blue wires are going to be my charging circuit, and they're going to be on the outside here. So let's push one of them in first. Let's see. Trying to see, I can't remember if it matters which way they go here. I got to look into the thing, and you know what? They're pretty centered in there, the way these holes are cut. If you look at the tab, it's offset to one side because the wire's on one side. So I was trying to question myself here whether it should be going to one side or the other. Let's see. It's kind of tough that way. Let's flip this thing over. Try it this way. Yeah, I think I just got to force them in there. That's pretty much it. So let's get them lined up, at least into the right holes. And then I'll grab them with a pair of pliers or something and just kind of push them in. And I think that would be the best plan of attack here. That one went pretty good. And then we got this black one for the ground, which we'll put on the bottom here. Let's see. You get the idea. I'll push them in, and we'll see it when it's done. All right, so I pushed them all in, and we have a nice plug here with fresh new wires in it. So what I'm actually going to do is wrap this whole thing with electrical tape, just like the OEM wiring harness had. So we'll go all the way up to the other end here, and then we're going to have to solder ends on the other side of it in order to go on to the voltage regulator and the key switch. So let's tape it up and see what we got. All right, so we got it mostly taped, and when we put it in, I want the tape to go up to about where the shifters is, because then I'm going to have to tape the other wires in that go to the solenoid. So let's come back here and see if we can get the old wire out. So what we're going to have to do is cut these zip ties off here, or maybe I can get lucky and just feed the wires under the zip tie. But I'm definitely going to just snip this old wiring harness up here on the other side, and then I can just yank out this old wire and put our new wire in. So let's see if I can just get this thing going here. Let's see. Did I cut it? Yeah, there we go. So let's just pull this right out. There we go, perfect. So that's our old crusty OEM wire. They use green and brown, but I don't have green and brown. So, all right, let me fish these back in and then we'll come back. All right, so I got my wire taped all the way up to about the dashboard. And now this goes under the solenoid. And then I'm gonna have to tape in this red and orange wire into the harness when they start to bend up here. So let me fish it under there and we'll come back. All right, so I decided I'm not gonna tape it in the front here yet, because I really need to get a fusible link to put in this wire that goes down to the battery. And depending on what color wire the fusible link has, I may have to change the color of that orange wire to something else. But the problem I was having is I was looking for fusible link wires, and they all had aluminum wires in it, so you couldn't solder on it. But most of them did seem to be orange or red. So I got to locate one of them, and then we can finish up the tape job. But for now, let's hook up that voltage regulator and bolt it in, and then we can make the proper connections. This old regulator is all crusty and rusty and everything, and one of the prongs is actually broken off of it. So I got this one here. It's actually a 15 amp one off of a Kohler. I got it on Amazon for about 20 bucks or so. It's made in China, but whatever. It has the same bolt hole pattern. One flaw that I noticed is that the tabs on the top are not marked as to which one's AC and which ones are DC. Pretty sure the two in a row here are the AC that comes from the stator, and the one in the back would be the DC that goes up to the key switch. So what we'll do is we'll bolt it in and we'll solder ends on here and we'll go from there. All right, so I got the battery pack hooked up here, and let's see what happens if we try to start her up now. Got everything hooked up. Let's make sure it's in neutral. Okay, here we go. Higher that's awesome. Everything's working now. Cool, cool, cool. All right, I'll put it back together, and I really need to address this rust up here. That's going to be for another day, though. Awesome. All right, so we got the 424 all put together. No choke. Let's see if it starts.